We begin tonight with continuing coverage of the major announcement impacting hundreds of students in Kern County. The Kern High School District announcing it's pausing all in-person instruction, athletics, and activities by the end of the day tomorrow due to a rise in COVID-19 cases. District officials say distance learning and virtual support services for all students will remain in effect until it's safe and appropriate to resume in-person instruction, supports, and services. Now, this announcement comes just moments after the California Interscholastic Federation announced the postponement of high school sports until January of 2021. 23 ABC Sports Director KHSD joining us now live from Centennial High School in Northwest Bakersfield with more on the announcement from the CIF on high school sports. Carrie?
Hey Jess, so as you mentioned, yes, all in-person activity, both athletics and as well as learning at the Kern High School District has been suspended, and that will begin, as you mentioned, starting tomorrow by the end of the business day. So here at Centennial, there were practices going on, and they now know that this will be their last practice until the foreseeable future, as they don't know when they will be able to return to that key word we've been trying to say all year, normalcy. And they thought they were getting it, but as we learned today, these teams will not be able to have practices. So I was able to speak with Stan Green of the Kern High School District earlier, who oversees athletics for KHSD, and he said that along with suspending the sports activity, it's been something that people may have expected, but something that everyone was waiting on. And these decisions have been tough. It's been a long summer and now fall, but this was the idea that they knew was coming just because the schools were unable to do full practices since returning to campus, as KHSD schools were only cleared for conditioning. And schools like Centennial and its football program have followed these guidelines for just about 3 weeks until getting that news today that tomorrow will be their last practice for the foreseeable future. And for Coach Stera, it was tough to let his team know the news, but he still is trying to hold on to hope that there can be a season to be played in 2021.
A lot of these kids, and you can say it may not be right, their grades are better because they have a dangled carrot of a football season that they have to be eligible for. And not every kid's a straight A student, and some kids are at this high school to participate in a sport, and the fact that that might get taken away from them is going to be tough on them. And I'm going to stay in contact and I'm going to keep pushing them, but it was not easy. I can tell you that. It wasn't easy looking them in the eyes, and all I can say is that January 1st is not forever away. And so we get another decision January 1st, and we're just hoping for the best at this point.
So you can hear the disappointment in Coach Sterrett's voice, but you can also hear that there is that sense of hope, and that was the same vibe I got from Stan Green, who has the news. He had to break the news to all of the Kern High schools that they will not be able to get back to activity. But Jess, you also mentioned this. Along with that news, the CIF announced that there will not be any full practices or competition until at least January 1st. Addressing that, they also stated that there will not be state and regional championships, and that will allow for teams to play a little bit longer seasons if we get to that. Again, we don't know anything until they update the guidelines from the state level, so that has been the tricky part of all of this. They're waiting for the state information to be brought down to the counties to then be brought to the school districts. So for now, there are no state championships or regional championships that will be played for any of our sports, but they're still looking to have those 2 shortened sports seasons, so hopefully getting the fall sports started somewhere around January. But the hardest part for all of this, and this is something I've heard from not only coaches but parents and athletes as well, is that they're watching other states play their full seasons. I mean, right now, a year ago, we were watching Bakersfield Christian make their state playoff run, so it's been a tough pill to swallow for a lot of these teams. But again, as you can hear, they're still holding on to hope. It just may be a different look. We may be seeing fall sports in the spring, but we won't know until they update those state guidelines. So as we've been doing all year long, Jess, it's just wait to see what happens. But again, if we can hold on to anything and learn from any of this, is have a little bit of hope. But for 23 ABC Sports, live out here at Centennial High School, I'm KHSD. I'll send it back to you.